There's the bells. Good afternoon. The 20th meeting of the 73rd term of the Baltimore City Council is now called to order. Members of the council, due to us being in a virtual meeting, please note that I'll recognize you by saying your name and that you have the floor. Once I recognize you, please state your name again and then begin to speak. Tonight's invocation will be delivered by Reverend Remiel McCall. Reverend McCall is from Urban Ministry Episcopal Church of Maryland. Thank you for joining us this evening. The floor is yours, Reverend McCall.
Thank you, Council President. Let us pray. Gracious Holy One, we ask that you'll bless this gracious gathering today as we represent our gracious districts throughout the city of Baltimore. Be throughout all the business at order. Allow our hearts and minds to be receptive of all the gracious things that needs to take place throughout City Hall. We're grateful for life and longevity, and we ask that your breath and your breath of graciousness be upon this gracious meeting and gathering at City Hall and throughout the city of Baltimore. We ask this in your gracious name, we say, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend McCall. Now to the members of the council, please turn to a flag, again, and state the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you all. At this time, I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos. Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now proceed with the adoption of the journal.
Mr. President, the journal of the October 4th, 2021 proceedings are on the council members' desks.
Without objection, the journal will be adopted. Hearing and seeing none, the journal is now adopted. Now I'm turning over from communications from the mayor. It can be found on page 2 of the agenda. We will now move to executive nominations. Clerk, please read the first nomination.
EA 21-0062, Alice Kennedy, Commissioner, Department of Housing and Community Development.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The nomination has been assigned to Rules and Oversight Committee. On to 21-63, Madam Clerk.
EA 21-063, Dr. Yvonne Bronner, Member, Commission on the Aging and Retirement Education.
This nomination has been assigned to the Rules and Oversight Committee. On to 21-64, Madam Clerk.
EA 21-064, Odessa Dorkins, Member, Commission on the Aging and Retirement Education.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Oversight Committee. On to 21-65, Madam Clerk.
EA 21-065, Claudia Bylog, Member, Commission on the Aging and Retirement Education.
And this nomination has also been assigned to Rules and Oversight Committee. Now we'll turn to bills being introduced. Please read the first bill, Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 21-0165, South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District and Management Authority. For the purpose of reviewing the South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District and Management Authority and renewing the South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District and Management Authority if the council finds that the district and the management authority are effective and should continue, and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor, Costello, Porter.
At this point, I would like to turn the floor over to Chairman Costello. Chairman Costello, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilwoman Porter and I both sit on the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership, which is one of our 6 community benefits districts in the city. As required by city code, the district is required to undergo a review by the city council. The introduction of this ordinance is that action. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that there's only one additional co-sponsor at this point. So the gentlewoman from the 10th District, is there anything you would like to say about the bill before we move on?
Thank you, Mr. President. No, I have no further comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I see the hand of Councilman Glover raised. Would you like to join on as a co-sponsor?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So if we could note, Executive Secretary, that Councilman Glover would like to sign on as a co-sponsor. This resolution This bill has been assigned to Economic and Community Development Committee. Now on to 21-166, Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 21-0166, rezoning Block 3635, Lot 055, for the purpose of changing the zoning for the property known as Block 3635, Lot 055, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat, from the C4 zoning district to the C1 zoning district. Sponsor Stokes.
This bill has been assigned to Economic and Community Development Committee. On to 21-167, Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 21-0167, High Performance Market Rate Rental Housing Tax Credit Citywide Application Extension. For the purpose of extending the period within which applications may be accepted for the High Performance Market Rate Rental Housing Tax Credit citywide and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor Costello, President Mosby, Stokes, Middleton, Bullock, Glover.
Chairman Costello, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. The high performance market rate rental credit is aimed at encouraging development of newly or converted market rate apartments in the city. The tax credit is based on the increase in the value of real property due to improvements that were made. This is a credit that has been used throughout our city, has helped contribute to population growth. I'd like to thank my colleagues who are sponsors and respectfully ask for the consideration of our other colleagues as sponsors. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you. I see the hand raised of Councilman Torrance. Would you like to be listed as a co-sponsor, Councilman Torrance? Yes, I see Councilman Torrance. I see Councilman Cohen. I see Councilwoman Porter. So that's Torrance, Cohen, and Porter. Please add, as well as Burnett. That's Torrance, Cohen, Porter, and Burnett. Please add them as co-sponsors to 21-167. And this bill has been assigned to the Ways and Means, and Glover. Glover, I believe you're already on here, Glover. This bill has been assigned to Ways and Means Committee. On to 21-168, Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 21-0168, Tax Credits Historic Properties Application Extension. For the purpose of extending the period within which applications may be accepted for the Historic Improvement Tax Credit and providing for a special effective date. Sponsors Costello, President Mosby, Stokes, Middleton, Bullock, Glover.
Chairman Costello, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a property tax credit for homeowners and businesses making substantial rehabilitation on projects in historic neighborhoods. That's a 10-year credit with 100% abatement up to $3.5 million and an 80% abatement above $3.5 million. This extension is for 1 year, which would take the program until February 28th of 2023. And Mr. President, I forgot to mention on the previous one, that was a 5-year extension to take the program through December 31st of 2027. And lastly, Mr. President, I forgot to note, I believe Councilman Schleifer is a sponsor on the previous one as well as this one. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Schleifer, are you on?
That's correct. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I signed on to all.
All right, perfect. To Executive Secretary, if we could make sure that Chairman Schleifer is on 167, 168, and we're going into 169. At this point, are there any additional co-sponsors of 168? I see the hand raised of Councilman Torrance, Councilman Burnett, Councilman Cohen, Councilwoman Porter. So that's Torrance, Burnett, Cohen, and Porter. Please add them, as well as ensure that Chairman Schleifer is after Glover. This bill has been assigned to the Ways and Means Committee. Madam Clerk, if we could read in 21-169.
City Council Bill 21-0169, High Performance Market Rate Rental Housing Tax Credit Citywide Application Extension. For the purpose of extending the period within which applications may be accepted for the High Performance Market Rate Rental Housing Tax Credit citywide and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor Costello, President Mosby, Stokes, Middleton, Bullock, Glover.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this point, I'd like to yield the floor to Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an extension of the program for 2 years until June 30 of 2024. This credit is for newly constructed dwellings or substantial rehabilitation of an existing vacant building that has been vacant for at least a year. It is a 5-year credit. And I want to thank my colleagues as well as my co-sponsors. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this point, are there any additional co-sponsors to this bill, 169? I see the hand of Cohen, Torrance, Burnett. So, Madam Executive Secretary, the same four, so Torrance, Burnett, Cohen, and Councilwoman Porter. Please add them. And again, remember that Chairman Schleifer should be on after Glover as well. This bill has been assigned to the Ways and Means Committee. We will now move on to resolutions being introduced tonight for first reading. Madam Clerk, if you could go into the first resolution, 21-676R.
City Council Resolution 21-0076R, Investigative Hearing, Baltimore Gas and Electric Decision Making. For the purpose of requesting leadership from Baltimore Gas and Electric, BGE, and the Director of the Department of Transportation, come before the City Council and answer specific questions regarding BGE's planned and emergency work in right-of-way areas, including operations and permitting protocols, communication with neighborhood associations, residents, business owners, and vehicle drivers, and coordination in effective traffic routing with City Council members and the Department of Transportation, as well as other relevant agencies. Sponsors, Ramos, Dorsey, Bullock.
Yes, at this point, I'd like to recognize the sponsor of the bill, Councilwoman Ramos.
Thank you so much, Mr. President and colleagues. This is a resolution that came out of some experiences we've been having in the district with BGE, work being done in the right-of-ways without having a ADA compliant alternate route, traffic flow and traffic patterns and detours that were not communicated when with the community, and showing up for work sites when we didn't know that they were coming. So I know there's a difference between emergency and planned. And in this resolution, we're actually asking for BGE to come to us with their planned work for the entire year, so that we have that as the basis of the conversation. So I'm looking forward to the conversation with BGE and DOT to come up with a better way of coordinating so that we don't have as many issues moving forward when BGE does its important work. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you, Ms. Councilwoman Ramos. One quick question. Was there any pushback, legislative reference, to make this just a DOT and requiring them to do things with a private company, or I assume that they were okay mixing the two here?
Again, this is a resolution, so it's just conversation with both DOT and BGE.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we had the conversation with DOT to ensure that they were connecting with this private entity, or
Oh, I see what you're
if we're
saying.
okay
Yes.
writing a private entity inside of this legislation. I mean, we don't really have the power to bring them in and force them to come in. Now, they clearly will because you're a councilwoman, but by charter, we don't have that authority.
Understood. I've been in contact with DOT on this as well.
All right, because I think that that's the main pressure point for us.
I understand. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you, Councilwoman Ramos. We have Dorsey and Bullock signed on. Any additional co-sponsors? I see the hand of Councilman Glover. I see the hand of Councilman Burnett. I see the hand of Councilwoman Porter. I see the hand of Councilman Torrance, as well as Councilman Cohen. So I believe that was Glover, Burnett, Porter, Torrance, Cohen. Thank you. This resolution has been assigned to Economic and Community Development Committee. At this point, Madam Clerk, if you could read in 21-77R.
City Council Resolution 21-0077R, Informational Hearing, Implementation of Landlord Licensing. For the purpose of requesting representatives from the Department of Law, Department of Housing and Community Development, and Department of Public Works appear before the Council and provide a comprehensive report about progress made on the implementation of Council Bill 18-0185, non-owner occupied dwelling units, rooming houses, and vacant structures, rental dwellings, registration and licensing. Sponsors, Ramos, Dorsey, Bullock.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this point, I'll yield the floor to Councilwoman Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. This resolution is seeking information from the various agencies listed on the implementation of the landlord licensing bill. It's been 3 years, and I'm interested to know what are some of the things that we need to possibly strengthen in the bill, and what support we can give to housing to make sure that the bill and that landlords and their properties are properly licensed. So I'm looking forward to the hearing, and thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, colleagues.
No, thank you, Councilwoman Ramos. This resolution has been assigned to Economic Community Development Committee. Now on, we're going to turn to the consent calendar. The consent calendar can be found on Section A at the back of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved, Mr. President.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries and the calendar is now approved. We will now move on to bills on second reader. At this point, I would like to recognize Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we read short titles for second and third reader for the duration of the hearing.
There's a motion on the floor to read short titles for the duration of the hearing. If I do not hear any unreadiness or any questions or concerns, we will be in short titles. Hearing and seeing none, we'll be on short titles for the rest of the meeting. Before we go into committee reports, I see the hand of Chairman Conway. Chairman Conway.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was hoping to get added on as co-sponsor to 6.7, 6.8, and 6.9.
Perfect. We're going to go back real quick. So the tax credits.
Yes.
Yes. So just for the record, if we could please add Chairman Conway on as a co-sponsor to 21-167, 21-168, and 21-169. Thank you, Chairman Conway. At first committee, we're going to go into committee reports. We're going to take it to Economic Community Development. Madam Clerk, if you could read in 21-71.
Council Bill 21-0071, Street Encroachment, 1707 Eastern Avenue.
At this point, I would like to recognize the Vice President, City Council. Madam Vice President, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill number 21-0071. The sponsor of the bill was the Council President for the Administration for Transportation. The hearing, the bill was heard on October 5th, 2021. I move the bill is favorable.
Is there a second?
Second, Conway.
The bill has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved. We've been joined by the Deputy Councilperson in District 9. How are you doing tonight, Deputy Councilperson? You gonna say anything? He won't talk. All right, Cat always has his tongue. Madam Clerk, if you could read in Council Bill 21-0090.
Council Bill 21-0090, City Streets, closing Eating Street and 4 10-foot alleys bounded by Druid Hill Avenue, Gold Street, Division Street, and Baker Street.
At this point, I would like to recognize the Vice President of City Council. Madam Vice President, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. And bill number 21-0090 was also brought to this committee by the Council President for the Administration, particularly Transportation. The committee heard this bill on October 5th, 2021. I move the technical amendment.
There's a motion on the floor to move the technical amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded for us to move the technical amendment associated with this bill. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The technical amendment is approved. Madam Vice President, the floor is yours.
And I move the bill favorable as amended.
There's a motion on the
Second.
floor to move the bill. It's a motion and second to move the bill favorable as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved as amended. Madam Clerk, if you could please read in 21-100.
Council Bill 21-0100, City Property, Grant of Easements.
At this point, I would like to recognize the Vice President of City Council. Madam Vice President, the floor is yours.
And also this bill 21-0100 was put in by the council president for the administration for the Office of Transportation. And the committee also heard this bill on October 5th, 2021. I move the bill is favorable.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's
Second.
been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of moving this bill, please say aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. Now we're going to move on to Education and Workforce and Youth. At this point, Madam Clerk, if you could read in 21-0050R.
Council Resolution 21-0050R, informational hearing, museum workers' right to organize.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Chair of the Committee, Chairman Stokes. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Workforce and Youth Committee held a hearing on October the 14th, 2020. Before I move this bill, I want to thank Walters, the management, ASME 67, Ms. Hillary Ruley from the Law Department, and some of the workers. It was a good informal hearing, and I want to move this bill favorable.
There's a motion on the floor to move this bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All
Aye.
those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This resolution is adopted. Now we're going to go
Mr.
to public. I'm sorry. Did I hear someone?
I was just saying, thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Chair. Now we're going to move to Public Safety and Government Operations. Madam Clerk, please read in 21-63R.
Council Resolution 21-0063R, informational hearing, an evaluation of the Deferred Retirement Option Program as a retention strategy for fire and police personnel.
At this point, I would like to recognize the Chair of the Committee, Chairman Conway. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill came out of committee on October 13th, and it was sponsored by Councilmember Schleifer, and the committee approved the bill as favorable. I move the bill as favorable.
Resolution has been moved as favorable. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Now we're going to turn to Ways and Means. Madam Clerk, if you could read in 21-118.
Council Bill 21-0118, Area Special Sign Control Designation, North Harbor.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Chair of the Committee, Chairman Costello. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ways and Means Committee held a hearing on September 28th and a subsequent work session on October 12th. There are findings of fact on my colleague's desk. I move the findings of fact.
Move.
I'm sorry. You second?
Second.
There's been a motion on the floor to approve the finding of facts. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The finding of the facts are adopted.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are amendments on my colleague's desk. I move the amendments.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
With the bill.
So we got to go back to you, Chairman Costello. So I yield the floor back to you because we're going to try to invoke
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I actually,
12-1.
I move the bill favorably as
Oh,
amended.
sorry, that was the, yeah, I'm sorry. You have to move the bill favorably as amended. So please call that motion, Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably as amended.
Is there a
So
second?
moved. Second.
Bill's been moved favorably as amended. As amended, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill has been moved favorably as amended on second reader. We're going to turn the floor back to Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to invoke City Council Rule 12-1. to advance a bill from second to third reader on the same day.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and properly seconded to advance the bill from second to third reader and invoke Council Rule 12-1. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. President?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do roll call.
Thank you.
At this point, Madam Clerk, if you could call the roll.
President Mosby, Conan,
Aye.
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Dorsey.
Yeah.
Conway,
Aye.
Schleifer,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Torrance, Burnett,
Yes.
Bullock,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Costello,
Aye.
Stokes,
Yes.
Glover, Glover, Ramos,
Yes.
The ayes have it. This bill moves on to third reader. Please note, there was one missing vote, and that was Councilman Glover. Now on to Council Bill 21-126. Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0126, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Board of Election, $600,000.
At this point, I'd like to recognize Chair of the Committee, Councilman Costello. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Ways and Means Committee held hearings on this bill as well as the 27 subsequent supplementary appropriations on October 12th. I move the bill favorably.
It's been moved favorably. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and probably second. All those in favor, please say aye. All
Aye.
those,
Aye.
all those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. Madam Clerk, on to the next bill.
Council Bill 21-0127, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of General Service, $600,000.
Mr. Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Madam Clerk, on to 21-128.
Council Bill 21-0128, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of General Service, $12,383.02.
At this point, I'd like to recognize Chair of the Committee, Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
All those,
Second.
is there a second?
Second.
All those, it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-129, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0129, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of General Service, $3,100,000.
I yield the floor to the Chair of the Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-130, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0130, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Health, $8,933,951.06.
The President yields the floor to the Chair of the Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-131, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0131, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Health, $22,621,021. Start over. $22,620,168.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this point, I'd like to yield the floor to the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-132, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0132, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Health, $15,200,000.
President yields the floor to the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading today. 21-133, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0133, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Housing and Community Development, $4,300,000.
I yield the floor to the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a
Second.
second? It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-134, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0134, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Planning, $7,100,000.
I yield the floor to the committee chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-135, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0135, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Planning, $5,107,420.
At this point, I'd like to yield the floor to the chair of the committee, Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. Madam Clerk, on to 21-136.
Council Bill 21-0136, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Public Works, $600,000.
At this point, I'd like to yield the floor to Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
It's been moved. Is it
Second.
seconded? It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill will be approved and printed for third reading. On to 21-137, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0137, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Public Works, $1,630,015.63.
At this point, I'd like to yield the floor to the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-138, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0138, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Fire Department, $2,350,000.
At this point, I'd like to recognize Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-139, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0139, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Fire Department, $114,009.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded several times. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. Madam Clerk, on to 21-140.
Council Bill 21-0140, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Fire Department, $12,684,000. $471.33.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this point, I would like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-141, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0141, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation Liquor License Board, $104,264.17.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be moved on to third reading. On to 21-142, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0142, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty, $50,304.90.
I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-143, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0143, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Civic Promotion, $5 million.
I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
This bill has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill will be approved and printed for third reading. On to 21-144, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0144, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Convention Center Hotel, $2,500,000.
I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-145, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0145, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Convention Complex, $1,499,509.74.
I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-146, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0146, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Education Grants, $4 million.
Mr. Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. Madam Clerk, on to 21-147.
Council Bill 21-0147, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Miscellaneous General Expenses, $7,002,637.06.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-148, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0148, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Office of Children and Family Success, $7,383,249.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of moving this bill forward, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved and printed for third reading. On to 21-149.
Council Bill 21-0149, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Office of Information and Technology, $857,509.37.
I'd like to recognize the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of moving this bill forward, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is approved. On to Council Bill 21-150.
Council Bill 21-0150, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Office of the Inspector General, $400,000.
President yields the floor to the council chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This bill moves on and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-151, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0151, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Police Department, $6,500,000.
I yield the floor to the committee chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
If please note that we have one in the nay column. That is Councilman Ryan Dorsey. This bill has been approved and will be printed for third reading. On to 21-152, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0152, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, State's Attorney's Office, $638,963.67.
At this point, I would like to turn the floor over to Council Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
Before we go into voting, I would like to note that I am an abstention, and please reflect that on this particular vote. For all other members, it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Again, as President of the City Council, I have abstained from 21-152. This bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. At this point, we're all the way down the stretch. We're going to close it out with 21-153, Madam Clerk.
Council Bill 21-0153, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related, Employees Retirement Contribution, $35,500,000.
At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Committee Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before making a motion, I want to take a moment to commend our council clerk who did a phenomenal job today. For those of you who were in the hearing last week with me, I probably tripped up a dozen times on trying to rattle this off as quickly as she did. So thank you, Madam Clerk.
Round of applause.
At this time, Mr. President, I move the bill favorably.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, sir.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and will be printed for third reading. Great job, guys. Great job, Madam Clerk. Now we're going to turn to third reading for final passage. Remember, we had the invocation of City Council Rule 12-1, which was same-day advancement. We're going to go into that first. So, Madam Clerk, if you could read in 21-118.
21-0118, Area Special Sign Control, Designation North Harbor. President Mosby.
And you can just read through, Madam Clerk.
President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. We'll now turn to third reading for final passage. Great job, Chairman Costello. We're going to turn to third reading for final passage. Madam Clerk, if you could please read in 21-41.
21-0041, Board of Estimates, Basic Organization and Procurement Thresholds. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton,
Is that
Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
Thank you. Now we're going to turn to 21-58, Madam Clerk. I'm sorry, that bill was approved. I have to say that bill was approved. Now we're going to go on to 21-58, Madam Clerk.
21-0058, Real Property Tax Installment Plans. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. Now on to 21-79, Madam Clerk.
21-0079, Repeal of Ordinance 90-425, Port Covenant Land Unit Development. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. Now on to 21-89, Madam Clerk.
21-0089, City Property, naming the property located at Ward 6, Section 9, Block 1318, Lot 2, also known as 199 North Caroline Street, to be the Dr. Barksdale Square. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. Now on to 21-93, Madam Clerk.
21-0093, Revising Whistleblower Rights and Responsibilities. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. Now under 21-99, Madam Clerk.
21-0099, Study and Report Tax Sale Accounting. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. On to 21-105, Madam Clerk.
21-0105, RPP Area 26, Campbell Lane Revisions. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That bill has been approved. Now on to bills. Bills to have been withdrawn can be found on page 14 of the agenda today. Now we're going to turn to committee announcements. Chairs, we can hear committee, please proceed. The first committee we're going to go to is Madam Vice President, as well as Chair of Economic and Community Development. Madam Vice President, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one announcement, and that was bill number 21-0083. The hearing was supposed to have been scheduled for October 5th, 2021, but that hearing was canceled, and it's now been rescheduled for October 19th, 2021, which is tomorrow. The time is 2:20, and it will be on WebEx. It's been attached to other bills, and that was the franchise gas regulator station utility at Lower Gwynns Falls Park, sponsor Porter, and it was introduced on May 17th, 2021. And basically, transportation just had to get some more documents together, and we're gonna go through with the hearing tomorrow. Thank you.
No, thank you, Madam Vice President. We're going to turn it over to Education, Workforce, and Youth. Chairman Stokes, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Education Workforce and Youth Committee will hold a public hearing on Thursday, October the 21st at 5 p.m. virtual WebEx meeting on Council Bill 21-0053R, informational hearing on school lunches that was introduced by Councilwoman Odette Holmes. Thank you.
No, thank you, Chairman Stokes. At this point, we're going to turn it to Health, Environment, and Technology. Chairwoman McCray, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. No announcements.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now we're going to go to Public Safety, Government Operations, PSO. Chairman Conway, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Got a couple announcements. So the Public Safety and Government Operations Committee will be meeting to discuss Bill 21-0164, the Decennial Fire and Emergency Medical Services Redistricting Plan, on Wednesday, November 10th at 1:01 p.m. virtually. This is sponsored by Councilmember Chris Burnett. And the committee will be meeting to hear Bill 21-0157, limiting the range of city-owned take-home vehicles, on Wednesday, November 17th at 2 p.m. And this is sponsored by Councilmember Ryan Dorsey. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on. Did I hear something? Now we're going to move on to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Chairman Schleifer, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Rules and Legislative Oversight Committee will hold multiple hearings on EA 21-0050 on October 21st at 2 p.m. And that is Mia Bloom, member of Sustainability Commission. We will also hold on the same day, October 1st, 2021, a hearing on EA 21-0051 at 2:01 p.m. Donzel Brown Jr., also a member of Sustainability Commission, will hold a third announcement at Executive Appointments hearing at 21-0052 on October 21st, 2021 at 2:02 p.m. And that's for Regina Boyce, a member of the Sustainability Commission, EA 21-0053 on October 21st at 2:03 p.m. And that is for Lisa Ferrerto, member of Sustainability Commission. Then we'll hold EA 21-0054 October 21st at 2:04 p.m. And that is for William Bill Joyner, member of Sustainability Commission. Then EA 21-0055 October 21st at 2:05 p.m. And that is for Nicolette Lewis Stand, member of Sustainability Commission. And 21-0056 on October 21st at 2:06 p.m. And next, Rob, member of Sustainability Commission, EA 21-0057 on October 21st at 2:07 p.m. And that's for Brian Smith, member of Sustainability Commission, EA 21-0058 October 21st at 2:08 p.m. And that is for Stephanie Smith, member of Sustainability Commission, and EA 21-0059 on October 21st at 2:09 p.m. And that is for Ben Zadchik, member of Sustainability Commission. And then we will have EA 21-0060 on October 21st at 2:10 p.m. And that is for Daytona Reed, member of the Civil Service Commission. And we'll have EA 21-0061 on October 21st at 2:11 p.m. Olivia Farrow, member of Commission on Aging and Retirement Education. And that concludes my announcements. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you, Mr. Chair. Now on to Ways and Means. Chair Ways and Means, Chairman Costello, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Ways and Means Committee will hold a hearing on Council Bill 21-0091 on Tuesday, October 19th at 9:59 a.m. This will be a virtual WebEx meeting, and Council Bill 21-0091 is sale of property, block 6997, lot 002, at the request of the administration, specifically Office of the Comptroller. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you, Mr. Chair. At this point, I'm hearing that there was one additional announcement, I think, from Public Safety and Government Operations. I believe the LO from Councilman Glover.
No, we don't have, we didn't queue that up.
You don't have that, Chairman?
No, I did not.
Okay. There is one final announcement. I would like to announce the meeting of Committee of the Whole. It's going to be Monday, November the 8th at 5 p.m. The committee will hear LO 21-16, Pursuing Equity Through City Contracts. It's going to be with the MWBOO Management Office. So again, for the general public, that's Monday, November the 8th at 5 p.m. At this point, when we go into regular announcements, I would like to congratulate Chairman Stokes on the passage of local hiring. We got word right before tonight's hearing that the mayor signed it into law, which is exciting to say the least. This is a bill that really goes at the core of what we talk about, of connecting our residents to the city contracts and the jobs that are coming through our city. When we talk about systemic issues like crime and the growth of our communities, we know that one key deliverable is providing opportunities through proper employment. And we know many of these contracts are from sometimes folks from not even in our state, and definitely employees not in our city. So this is a way of not only looking at the bill from the lowest estimate, but lowest bid as well as the most responsible bid. And a responsible bid as relates to city funding is providing city residents opportunity for employment. So huge congratulations to a really, really, really big bill to Chairman Stokes. We thank you for all your leadership. At this point, Chairman Stokes, would you like to make a mention or say anything about it?
I want to thank the mayor. I think it was a great bill, but I also want to thank you, Mr. President, your staff, because we had to go through some different conversations about this, and with the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. I think it's a great bill when we talk about opportunities. When we talk about local contractors getting opportunities to do work here in Baltimore City. And again, I'm really happy that the mayor and your office support that Mayor Scott actually signed the bill. So, and my colleagues for supporting it. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you. My hat also goes off to the mayor on being a true partner in progress regarding this particular issue. You know, I know that I believe some members of the team might have had some problems or concerns. It's taken them some time to kind of figure out exactly where they're going to go with it, but truly appreciate his leadership. One of his first actions coming back from being in quarantine was to sign this really, really important bill. So again, hat goes off to my partner in progress, Mayor Brandon Scott, for your leadership on this particular issue. At this point, are there any additional regular announcements?
Mr. President,
Madam Vice President, the floor is yours.
just want to thank the mayor and everyone involved on the opening, the soft opening, I'll call it today, of the Towanda Rec Center in Park Heights. About 2 miles or more from the C.C. Jackson Rec Center, but it's in the Towanda community. That rec center has been closed for almost going on 2 years, and this soft opening was the inside of the building, which has a basically state-of-the-art small fitness center. It has, the place is all Wi-Fi. They redid the entire gym. There's a teen lounge area, and there is a STEM and technology room. Strong partnership with Creative City Charter, which is 3 steps away from the building. They're going to be working with seniors. They're working towards getting an apprenticeship program. They're going to be working with Safe Streets. So the programming is going to be a little bit different from C.C. Jackson. There's 2 more phases, and both of those phases are going to be outside, which includes the pool and the field areas. So that community has just been very, very patient It's been an off and on thing with the opening for at least the last year, and it's just another way of how we are progressing equity and equality, and this is just going to be fantastic for that community that's in desperate need. And just want to also recognize a long-serving member that passed away of the Ashburton community. Her name was Bernice Beard, 89 years old, and she's also a member of the AKA sorority and the Coalition of 100 Black women, and she was, strong member of the Ashburton community, and she will be missed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Are there any other regular announcements? Madam Councilwoman from the 14th District, Odette Ramos, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. First of all, I want to thank you all for the support of the two bills that we just voted on third reader to help people avoid tax sale. I really appreciate everybody's help and support on this important work. This is not the last you'll see of it, but I'm very excited to have gotten this far. So thank you very much, colleagues, for your support. I have two moment of silence requests. One is for Gertrude S. Williams. She was the principal of the Barclay School for over 25 years. She brought the Calvert curriculum to the Barclay School at the objection of the mayors at the time and the CEOs because they thought they shouldn't be bringing the rich man's curriculum to Barclay School. She said, that's ridiculous. We're going to do it anyway. And she did. And she's shorter than me. So you can imagine that she was a fighter and a good one. And so we just honor her memory today. Her services were over the weekend. She was really a great trailblazer for advocacy for education. And the second one, and Mr. President, you may have some words for this as well. Elijah Gorham, he was a football player at Mervo, and Mervo is in my district. I think it's important we also honor him. He was an example for the students, a wonderful person. It was a tragic circumstance that happened in terms of a brain injury. The Mervo community is really heartbroken right now, and they need all of our prayers. So want to certainly honor him with a moment of silence. And Mr. President, your words at the vigil the other day were certainly appreciated by the family and the community.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I see the hand raised of Chairman Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Odette, I second about Ms. Gertrude Williams. I could not make it there, had emergency, but I know how much she meant to education in this city, but actually to that Barclay community, to that actual school. Also, I think we need to pray for the young man who actually tackled the young man at Mervo, because I'm sure he's going through something to actually just playing football, and then that happened to him. So his family is really, they feeling it also. So we can't forget the young man from Dunbar High School either. Make sure we keep his family in prayer too.
Are there any additional regular announcements?
Mr. President, I would be remiss if I didn't mention one more person that passed away in the Park Heights community, and that was Mr. Christopher Crockett, was the president of the SDKG Community Association off of Park Heights Avenue. He was a employee, long-serving employee with the Park Heights Renaissance, and just a strong advocate in that community, loved the outdoors and the beautification of the area. And please keep his family in prayer. He struggled through COVID. At one point, it was him, his wife, and his mother-in-law. All three of them had COVID at the same time. The mother-in-law passed away a few months ago. His wife did survive, but he struggled with other complications and passed away. So he is was another great friend with the Mr. George Mitchell. They both were just Park Heights advocates and lived there for many, many years, and he will be missed. Thank you.
No, thank you. And we will all be remiss if we do not salute and take our hats off and bow to the loss of the 65th Secretary of the State, as well as former four-star General Colin Powell, what he's meant to American history, being the first African-American Secretary of State of the United States of America. He passed away today, announced by his family, succumbing to the COVID-19 pandemic. Hearing and seeing no additional new business, of course, we're going to have a moment of silence for those that we've mentioned and lost. And at this point, I would like to turn the floor over to Madam Vice President Sharon Green Mills.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next meeting of the City Council will be held on Monday, November 1st, 2021 at 5 p.m. virtually. May we have a moment of silence for Gertrude S. Williams, Elijah Gorman, Christopher Crockett, Bernice Beard, the former General Colin Powell, the 268 victims of homicide and their families, and also the families of the now 1,200 pandemic deaths to date, and our continued opioid epidemic.
Thank you. There being no new or additional business before the desk, this will conclude the 20th meeting of the 73rd term of your Baltimore City Council. Baltimore, we love you.